Are you ready to go to the next level? Are you ready to leave behind frustration and I don't know the correct term, but are you ready to leave all that behind you and get on and keep moving forward? Hi, I'm Grace Plata, and I'm here to equip, encourage, and empower you to help you live your best life. If you're in this place of waiting like I was, here are 3 simple steps to help you get moving forward and carry on with what you are supposed to do to accomplish your destiny. So right now, what's causing all this internal grief and strife and frustration inside you? It's one of life's tests, which you will pass if you can figure out what the problem is and then solve it. So what are those problems? So here are 3 steps to go to the next level. Number 1, I had this epiphany last month. I was so crazy packed with the schedule, and it was so busy, and I had school and work and all these little projects on the side. And I figured out I was busy, but I wasn't being productive. There's a difference. Being busy and being productive are 2 hugely different things. Being busy is actually being lazy. What? Being busy is actually being lazy because you don't want to take the time to plan out your life and plan out your schedule so you have more time to do the things that you want to do. And I know this might be really tough to hear. I got kind of angry when I heard this. I'm like, of course I want more time. Of course I'm not lazy. I'm working so hard. But that's what it feels like, right? Do you get what I'm saying? Like you're working with all this stuff and you've got all this stuff in front of you, but you're actually being lazy. So what I've had to do is I've had to figure out my priorities, and I've had to wake up early to get the things that I want to do. It all depends on how badly you want to do something, because the people that just don't, they use it as an excuse, like, oh, I'm so busy, but they don't want to do anything about it. So they just kind of throw that phrase around so they don't have to do certain things. But if you really, really wanted to do it, you would figure it out. What an awesome way to start this. Next, this is probably the most important, yet the most neglected principle to keep moving forward. If you can be faithful with the small things, you will be made ruler over much. And this counts for all those little insignificant tiny things, like how well you can do your assignments, how well you can treat your family, how well you can put, or if you will take the extra step and put your dish in the dishwasher. I'm talking to myself right now too. If you can make your bed in the morning, if you can take, even if it just like, oh, it's 2 minutes, or if it's just this little thing, that little thing is preparing you to take the extra step and do more in your life. Does that make sense? So remember, good enough is good enough. That's what I've been saying. I'm like, good enough. And I'm like, wait, good enough is good enough. It's actually not good. It's good enough. Does that make sense? So how you handle life when no one is looking will determine how your life looks when people are looking. How you live your life when no one knows your name will determine if people will someday know your name and you'll be known to the ends of the earth. So practice the way you want to perform. Next is pay attention to the present. Oftentimes, I mean, haven't you heard a lot, like, don't put the past behind you, don't focus on the past, forgive yourself. Yeah, but a lot of the times people don't, they don't have the quite balance yet. That's what I had to deal with in the first point. With the third point is focus on the present, because yeah, put the past behind you, but you also have to keep in the present. Don't be completely focusing on the future, because that's just as dangerous as focusing on the past, right? So yeah, you have to keep in the present. There's this awesome poem. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift, and that's why it's called the present. I really like that. So the same God that you can trust your salvation with, you can trust your finances with, you can trust your family, and you can trust your future with. We don't have to constantly think about the future. Yes, I encourage you to dream. Yes, I encourage you to think about your dreams, but oftentimes that can almost strangle what we're in right now from moving forward to where we need to go. So the same, you can trust God with your future. You can trust you're getting ahead if you're doing everything right. Being a couch potato, you're not exactly tapping into what you need to do. So that's there's two sides of faith. One is actually having faith, and the other side is doing your part. And that's a lot of the time where the most trouble comes in, right? Is when it's your part. God is depending on you to take your place and do your part to accomplish your destiny. And that's really eye-opening and really awakens you, like, oh, I got to get to work. But don't be busy, be productive. 2018 is the year. It is your year for that breakthrough. It is your year to do something huge that you want to do. It is the year. It is your year. So do something with that information. I mean, sure we can say, oh, yeah, Happy New Year at the beginning of the year and get all pumped up. But right now it's May at this point in time, and we can feel discouraged and be like, oh gosh, oh my gosh, how are those New Year's resolutions coming up, by the way? So 2018 is the year, and when life pressures you and tries to talk to you in the ear and you're like, and they're telling you like, oh, you won't do this and you can't do that. You just shut those down right now. Don't listen to those. That's not you. That's not God talking to you, and you must ignore that. Teens, this is so important. The enemy will try to talk to you, and he'll try to say you're not good enough, you don't look good, you're ugly, you're good for nothing, you'll never be successful, you'll never be happy. And you have to shut those feelings down the same way. And that's not just for teens, but that's for adults. But a lot of time I see teens, they're in that kind of stage where they're more they hear those voices more. And with social media, the enemy can use other people to talk down to you. Don't receive their words. You do not let those words go through your head. Do not be putting them on replay. You need to get them out. So, God's got good plans. The same God that designed the universe, who had plans for the universe, has plans for you, for your future, for your destiny, and for your purpose. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. But I have to point out again, do not be busy. I had that epiphany last month that you cannot be busy. You miss out on so many opportunities that you don't even realize. Like, oh my gosh, your mind is being stretched in a million directions. And when you're being pulled a million directions, you're being pulled nowhere. So, sometimes God will send you what you need in a package you don't want. And I've had to learn this lesson a few times. And nothing good ever happens in your comfort zone. Nothing that's ever going to make or break you comes in your comfort zone. What's gonna make or break you is getting out of your comfort zone and doing something, right? So courage, I have to remind myself all the time that we're commanded to be strong and courageous. Courage is not a feeling. Courage is a choice. Do you say yes to that? Because I totally think that is 100% true. Courage is not a feeling. Courage is a choice. So the moment you make up your mind to go somewhere, the moment you make up your mind that you're going to be courageous, the enemy's going to come and whisper to you in your ear and tell you that you can't do things. The moment you make up your mind to go somewhere, he's going to put stumbling blocks by your feet and try to trip you, stick out his foot and try to trip you in the process. So the enemy sees you greater than you see yourself. If any of you have seen the movie Cars 3, then you might be familiar with this scene. And basically, Lightning McQueen, one of the main characters' protege, is up racing. She's in second, and pretty much the head jerky dude is up front. And he gets notified that she's coming up behind him and she's going to win. And so what he does is he pulls back and starts talking to her and says, who do you think you are? Sure, you can do this as long as you want, but you'll never be a real racer. And pretty soon she starts drifting back, and that's what the enemy does. Also, the main character, Lightning McQueen, he's like, he never would have done that if you hadn't given him a reason to think that the girl was going to win. That's what the enemy does too. That he would never try to trip you unless he thinks you're going somewhere. So all those stumbling blocks, the Bible says to rejoice when things are hard. I know, that's kind of like, what do you mean by that? It means you're going somewhere. It means you're a threat to the enemy. It means you're a threat to the dark side. Act like this is the year, because this is the year to do what you want to do. there are so many other things that you can do to get ahead. If you want a part 2 of this, put hashtag part 2 in the comments, or put hashtag new message if you want a different message next week. I'm honestly fine either way. I just want to know if you guys want more tips on how to get ahead in your life and more encouragement. If this was encouraging to you guys, I would really appreciate it if you would share with a friend. And thank you so much. I will see you next week. Bye.